Alright, so let's go over our review worksheet. So number 1, we are doing order of operations. So remember, we need to start with parentheses. So we're going to start here. We're going to do our 6 plus 3, which is 9. And then divided by 3 is 3. So I'm going to bring down my 12 minus 6 times 3 minus, I'm going to go ahead and do my 4 squared and make that a 16. Then remember, you need to do your multiplication division next in the order they appear from left to right. So we will keep our 12. 6 times 3 is 18. And then minus 16. Alright, so you do 12 minus 18 minus 16 and get negative 22 as your answer for number 1. And number 2. Alright, so again, exponent, so parentheses. While there's parentheses around the negative numbers, it's just to help them stand out, so you don't confuse it with a minus sign. So we don't really have any parentheses to do, but next we need to do our exponents. So negative 2 squared means negative 2 times negative 2, so that will be a positive 4. I'm going to bring everything else down. So we're going to do our multiplication and division in order they appear from left to right. So negative 12 times negative 5 is positive 60, because a negative times a negative is a positive. And 30 divided by 4 gives you 7.5. So your final answer should be 67.5, which I believe some of you got as a fraction. So if you got it as a fraction, that would be 135 over 2, but either one of those would be correct for number 2. All right, moving on to number 3. Right, we are combining like terms. So let's see, we have an x squared here and an x squared here. We have a 4 and a 10. All right, we've got a 5x, and we have x cubed. So I'm going to bring down my x cubed first. That's the only one there is there. Next, I'm going to do my x squared. So I have 1x squared plus 1x squared equals 2x squared. Then I'm going to bring down my 5x since it doesn't have anything to add to it. And then 4 plus 10 is 14. So my final answer is going to be x cubed plus 2x squared plus 5x plus 14. In number 4, we have to do the distributive property first. So I have to multiply my 2 to everything here, giving me 2y squared plus 6y plus 24. And then I'm going to multiply my negative 4 to everything here. So that gives me minus 4y squared minus 4y plus 24. Because remember, a negative number times a negative number is a positive number. So now from here, I'm going to combine my like terms. So I have 2y squared, negative 4y squared. I have a 6y and a negative 4y. And I have 24 and 24. So 2 minus 4 is negative 2y squared. Remember, your exponents stay the same, right? We're not combining any exponents since we're adding like terms. 6y minus 4y is minus 2y. And 24 plus 24 is 48. So that is your final answer for number 4. Number 5, remember when we're subtracting, we are changing the signs of everything in here. And once we do that, we drop those parentheses. So we're going to write this as minus x cubed minus 15x plus 2. And I'm just going to bring these down. And we're going to combine our like terms again. So we have an x to the 4th. We have an x to the 3rd. Or a negative x to the 3rd, I should say. We have a negative 8x a negative 15x, and we have a negative 11 and a positive 2. So I'm just going to bring down my 3x to the 4th and my minus x cubed. Negative 8 and negative 15 is negative 23x. And then negative 11 plus 2 is negative 9. So that is your final answer for number 5. All right, number 6, we are multiplying. So we are going to FOIL. So first 2, so z times 2z is 2z squared. Our outer 2, so z times 13 is plus 13z. Our inside 2 is our negative 4 times 2z is a minus 8z. And negative 4 times 13 is negative 52. We're going to combine these two terms in the middle. So 13 minus 8 is 5. So that becomes a plus 5z. And then we bring down our minus 52 at the end. All right, so number 7, doing the same process of FOIL, right? So we're going to do our first 2. So a times a is a squared. Our outside 2, so this a and the 5 on the outside is a plus 5a. Inside is minus 5a. And last is minus 25. So combining these like terms, we have a positive 5 and a negative 5. So those just cancel out. So we're left with a squared minus 25. All right, let's move on to number 8. So remember, we can only use the FOIL method when we have 2 binomials, right? But since we have a polynomial, right, a trinomial, we have 3 terms here, we have to use our kind of long distributive property method. So I have to take my first term, which is this negative 3x, and I'm going to multiply it to everything over here. So negative 3x times 3x squared is negative 9x cubed. I'm going to take my negative 3x times my negative 6x. So negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18. And then x times x is x squared. Then I'm going to do negative 3x times 4. So that becomes a negative 12x. Now I'm going to do this with my 7. I'm going to multiply it to everything on that second polynomial. So 7 times 3x squared. So 7 times 3 is 21. Just put the x squared with it. 7 times negative 6x. So 7 times negative 6 is negative 42. And keep the x. And then 7 times 4 is 28. So now we're going to combine any like terms. So we have 9x to the 3rd. So that's the only thing with x to the 3rd, so it's by itself. You have an 18x squared, a 21x squared. You have a negative 12 and a negative 42. And then you have a sad little 28 on the end. So I'm going to bring down my negative 9x cubed. I'm going to add my 18 and 21, which gives me a 39x squared. Again, those exponents stay the same when you are adding. Okay, now I'm going to add my negative 12 and my negative 42, which gives me negative 54. And then I'm just going to tack my 28 on the end. So this here is our final answer. All right, so for number 9, right, we have to do that step, but 3 times. So I have to take my 3r squared and multiply it to all of this. And then I have to do my negative 9r to everything, and then my 4 to everything over here. So let's go ahead and do that. So that gives me 3r to the 4th plus 15r cubed plus 18r squared. Now I'm going to do my 9. So negative 9r times r squared is negative 9r cubed. 9 times 5 is 45r squared. 9 times 6 is minus 54r. Okay, and then now I'm going to do my 4. So I get a plus 4r squared plus 20r plus 24. So now I am combining like terms again. All right, so I have 3r to the 4th. So now I'm looking for my r cubes. So I have an r cubed here, r cubed here. So 15 minus 9 gives me 6. Again, r cubed stays as it is. Done with those. I like to mark them out when I'm working with longer problems like this, just so I can make sure I added everything I needed to. So then I have an 18r squared, a negative 45r squared, and a 4r squared. So again, I'm plugging in my calculator, 18 minus 45 plus 4. If you're having trouble with the negative numbers, plug them in your calculator. So I did 18 minus 45 plus 4. So the reason I block the signs with my like terms is so that I know what signs to plug into my calculator, or I know what signs to add or subtract. Okay, so when you plug that in your calculator, you get a negative 23. And remember, you stick with your same exponent, so r squared. Then we have a negative 54r and a 20r. So I'm going to plug in negative 54 plus 20. So that gives me negative 34r. And then I just have my 24 left. So it goes at the end. So that's our final answer to number 9. All right, and then for our divisions like this, remember we're just taking each term on top, dividing it by the term on the bottom. So you're dividing your large numbers in front, your coefficients, and then subtract your exponents. So 15 divided by 3 is 5, and then 12 minus 2 is 10, so we have 5x to the 10th. And then 9 divided by 3 is 3, 8 minus 2 is 6. And then keep that minus sign there. 33 divided by 3 is 11. 6 minus 2 is 4. So that's your answer for number 10. All right, on number 11, I meant to stick a minus sign here. So I apologize if you did it with a plus, that's okay. But there should definitely be something in between those two. So again, we're going to do 21 divided by 3, which is 7. So then we're going to work with d. So we have d to the 3rd divided by d squared. So 3 minus 2 is 1d. You can even write it as d to the 1st. And then f to the 5th divided by f. Remember, that's f to the 1st. So 5 minus 1 is 4. Then negative 18 divided by 3 is negative 6. The d squareds cancel out completely if the exponents are the same, because remember, 2 minus 2 is 0. So that means that d squared part goes away there. And then 4 minus 1 gives you 3. Right, 12 divided by 3 is 4. Again, our d squareds cancel out, and we have 3 minus 1 giving you 2. And now time for everybody's favorite long division. So, again, write your problem as x plus 3 on the outside. 6x cubed plus 19x squared minus 37x minus 120. So, again, always make sure what you have under your division symbol is in order of descending exponents. If it's not, it will mess you up. So, we're going to take our 6x cubed, divide it by x. So that gives me 6x squared. Then we take that red 6x squared, multiply it by the x and the 3, and we write it here. So 6x squared times x is 6x cubed. Remember, these should match. And then 6x squared times 3 gives you a plus 18x squared. Remember, we are subtracting this. So those cancel. 19 minus 18 gives you a 1x squared. And now I'm going to bring down my minus 37x. So now I'm doing 1x squared divided by 1x. So that is just an x. Taking my blue x, multiplying it by the x plus 3 in front. So x times x is x squared, right, or 1x squared even. And then x times 3 is 3x. Again, we are subtracting, so those cancel. Then in your calculator, you're doing negative 37 minus 3, which gives you a negative 40x. And then we're going to bring down our minus 120. We're now dividing our blue negative 40x by x up here. So that is just minus 40. And then negative 40 times x is negative 40x. Negative 40 times 3 is negative 120. So when you subtract those, they cancel out and you are done, making your final answer 6x squared plus x minus 40. All right, be sure to post in the discussion board. Let me know that you watched the video. Let me know if you have any questions for your quiz on Monday. If you guys have questions, please email me so I can get that faster. I will see it quicker than I will see stuff on LMS because I get it instantly. So again, please message me if you have questions, and I will be available in study hall on Monday if you guys need extra help before your quiz.